a sign, a green light from the world. Let me be clear with you, the world does not give permission slips for greatness. If you are waiting to be chosen, you are silently choosing to stay exactly where you are. Growth begins the moment you stop asking for approval and start taking responsibility for your future. From the time we're young, we are conditioned to wait. Wait your turn. Wait to be called on. Wait until someone notices you. Wait until you're qualified enough, confident enough, ready enough. And that mindset follows people straight into adulthood. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances. But perfection is a lie that fear tells to stay in control. Life rewards movement, not readiness. The truth is, nobody ever feels fully ready. The people who win are simply the ones who move anyway. They step forward with trembling hands and steady resolve. They don't wait for confidence, they build it through action. You have to understand this. Every time you ask for permission, you hand your power away. You make someone else the gatekeeper of your destiny. You let external opinions decide internal worth. And the world will happily accept that role because it benefits from your hesitation. But your dreams were not meant to be managed by committee. They were placed in you because you are responsible for bringing them to life. If you keep waiting for someone to say yes, you may never realize that the only voice that truly mattered was yours all along. There is a dangerous comfort in waiting. It feels safe. It feels responsible. It feels like patience. But often it's just fear wearing a suit. Fear of being judged. Fear of failing publicly. Fear of discovering that success requires more from you than you're willing to give. Waiting allows you to avoid those confrontations. It keeps you protected from embarrassment, but it also keeps you protected from fulfillment. And the cost of that protection is your potential. You cannot play small and expect a big life. At some point, you must decide that the discomfort of growth is cheaper than the pain of regret. Here's the part most people won't tell you. No one is coming to save you. Not your boss, not your family, not your friends, not the system. Everyone is busy fighting their own battles. And once you accept that, something powerful happens. You stop feeling abandoned and start feeling free. Because if no one is coming, then you don't have to wait. You don't have to explain. You don't have to justify your ambition. You are free to act, free to fail, free to learn, free to rise. Responsibility is not a burden. It is liberation. Choosing yourself means you stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what will it cost me if I never try? It means recognizing that rejection is not a verdict. It's a direction. That failure is not an identity. It's information. You stop personalizing setbacks and start analyzing them. You realize that every person you admire once stood where you are now. Uncertain, unseen, unapproved. The difference is not talent, it's not luck, it's not connections, it's decision. They decided to move before the fear disappeared. Let me challenge you right now. How many dreams have you postponed because you were waiting to feel confident? Confidence does not precede action. Action precedes confidence. The first step is always shaky. The first attempt is always imperfect. The first version is always messy. But it is necessary. Waiting for confidence is like waiting for muscles before going to the gym. The strength comes from the effort. You earn belief by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you act despite fear, you tell your mind, I can be trusted. And that trust compounds. When you stop waiting for permission, you stop outsourcing your identity. You no longer need constant validation to feel worthy. You don't need everyone to understand your vision. You understand it. That's enough. You begin to operate from self-respect instead of self-doubt. And that shift changes how you walk, how you speak, how you decide. Opportunities start responding to your energy. People sense certainty even when results are still forming. Momentum recognizes courage. The world responds differently to someone who has already chosen themselves. And make no mistake, choosing yourself will make some people uncomfortable. Not because you're wrong, but because your courage confronts their hesitation. Your movement highlights their stagnation. Your growth reminds them of what they postponed. Some will question you, some will doubt you, some will hope you fail so they don't have to question their own choices. Let them. You are not here to manage other people's comfort. You are here to live in alignment with your potential. Approval fades, regret lingers. There will be moments when you wish someone would step in and reassure you. Moments when the silence feels loud. Moments when the results are slow and the doubts are fast. In those moments, remember this: every leader learns to self-soothe. Every visionary learns to self-validate. Every high achiever learns to self-motivate. That inner strength is not given, it's built. And it's built by showing up when no one is watching, by continuing when encouragement is absent, by trusting yourself enough to keep going. Choosing yourself also means redefining failure. Failure is not proof that you shouldn't have started. It's proof that you did. It's evidence of courage. The only true failure is never stepping forward. Years from now, you will not regret the attempts that didn't work. You will regret the chances you never took, the conversations you avoided, the risks you talked yourself out of. Life punishes hesitation far more harshly than it punishes mistakes. So hear this clearly: you don't need to be more ready. You don't need to be more qualified. You don't need to be more confident. You need to be more decisive. Make the call, take the step, send the message, start the work. Begin before you feel prepared. The version of you that succeeds is built by the version of you that acts today. And if you take nothing else with you, take this truth and carry it into 2026 with fire in your chest. Stop waiting to be chosen. Choose yourself, fully, boldly, and without apology. Because the moment you do, everything changes. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear, but desperately need to understand. Confidence is not something you're born with, and it's not something you magically feel one day. Confidence is built, brick by brick, rep by rep. Promise by promise kept when quitting would be easier. Real confidence doesn't come from hype, praise, or temporary wins. It comes from discipline, from doing what you said you would do long after the excitement is gone. That's the kind of confidence nobody can take from you, because it's earned, not borrowed. We live in a world that celebrates loud confidence. Social media confidence. Talk it but don't live it confidence. But that kind fades the moment resistance shows up. Discipline-based confidence is different. It doesn't need to announce itself. It walks into the room already grounded. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It knows what it's capable of because it has proof. And that proof wasn't built in moments of inspiration. It was built in moments of inconvenience. Early mornings, late nights, quiet sacrifices no one applauded. Every time you follow through when it's uncomfortable, you send a message. Chi to your nervous system: I can trust myself. And trust is the foundation of confidence. If you constantly break promises to yourself, skip the work, delay the effort, negotiate with your goals, you teach your mind that your word doesn't matter. That's why so many people struggle with self-belief. Not because they lack ability, but because they've trained themselves not to listen to their own commitments. Discipline repairs that relationship. It rebuilds self-respect. And self-respect is the backbone of confidence. Discipline is choosing structure over chaos. It's deciding in advance who you're going to be, so you don't leave your future up to your mood. Motivation is unreliable. Feelings fluctuate. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. It cares about what you decided. And that's power. When you no longer depend on motivation to act, you become unstoppable. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need perfect conditions. You move because you said you would. That level of internal authority changes how you show up in every area of life. Understand this. Your habits are always speaking for you. Long before you open your mouth, your daily routines have already introduced you. They tell the story of what you tolerate, what you prioritize, and how seriously you take your future. You can't lie to your habits, they are honest. If your habits are inconsistent, your results will be inconsistent. If your habits are weak, your confidence will be fragile. But when your habits are solid, when you do the work daily, even imperfectly, you walk differently, you speak differently, you decide differently, because you know you're putting in the work. Discipline is not punishment, it's self-respect in action. It's saying, my future is important enough to require effort. It's choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. Most people choose comfort and then wonder why they feel unfulfilled. Comfort numbs potential. Discipline sharpens it. Discipline creates momentum. And momentum creates belief. Once you start stacking discipline days, something shifts. You don't need external validation as much. You don't need reassurance as often. You start to trust the process because you're part of it. And let's be honest, discipline is hard, it's boring sometimes, it's repetitive. It doesn't always feel rewarding in the moment. But neither does regret. The difference is discipline hurts now and pays later, while regret feels easy now and costs you later. Every time you choose discipline, you are voting for the person you want to become. Every skipped workout, every avoided task, every excuse is also a vote.